Press
It's only
record.
the truth.
Hold on, what did you say?
I
That we
said it's only the truth.
What's the truth?
You
What?
guys are my two favorite people. You are awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You
appreciate
are
it.
You're
awesome.
welcome.
You're consistently great energy. Consistently. Even on the phone, just great energy. Oh
You
man.
know what? You have to. You have to have that positive energy.
That's a
You
fact.
know.
Yes. It gets you through, but also it gets a lot of other people through. Like you get a lot of people through. I just know that's the truth. You get
Yeah.
you get me through, you know? So
Mhm.
got me through. Yeah. So thank
Well,
you.
that's sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Kool-Aid
That being said, welcome to another week of the Marketing Mindset Group. It's your man Bunduk.
And it's your girl, Corey Janae.
We are here live and direct. And yo, today is a fun day. It's great. We didn't have, as y'all know, we didn't have it last week. We was in Chicago, Shot City. Shout out to Clifford and Michelle getting married. You know,
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful wedding.
amazing wedding. Had a good time. I love Chicago.
It's pretty. I didn't know that was my first time, so I remember Buduk talking about, oh, I would move to Chicago. It's a beautiful city, and one of his friends was like, yeah, it's a beautiful city. So I was like, okay, they're gassing up the city. And then when we got to the city, it was at night, so I was like, this looks like Atlanta, right? And then the sun came up, and I was like, wow, this is a beautiful city.
Facts.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. Chicago's nice. Chicago's nice. She was hating at first, but
I
you
was
know what
just a
I'm saying?
little bit.
She came around. She came around. She
The
came
sun
around.
came up.
Yeah. But yo, so two big things, you know what I'm saying? So I went through this essentially two coaching sessions. You know, one was about how to run your business and not burn out, because I've experienced the burnout. And when you burn out, it's not productive to your business. You're not making as much revenue, which then adds to the more of the stress, which then adds to more of the burnout. So it's like a negative feedback loop. So that going through that kind of helped me relax my mind, start to section things off and start to realize like, yo, ain't no need to burn out. Just do it this way. Plan things this way, understand things this way, and you're gonna be all right. Cause I did it before, you know. So just gotta get back to it. And then the second piece was we actually had a call with a Meta employee who was a digital media expert, part of their Facebook creators program. And so we got on the phone with them and he gave us like so much sauce on reels. So it's like a lot of sauce that we didn't even know that we really got to start putting into play, because then it's going to get you more plays, more views, more engagement, all of that. So that's going to be the thing. So I took a bunch of notes. So I'm actually going to break down straight from my notes because
wow.
your boy, your boy ain't playing no more.
He
You know what I'm
takes notes
saying?
really well.
Yeah,
Is
just
that
gotta
something you
take
learned in
notes more.
college?
The way that I take notes now is not how I learned it in college. Actually, no, I didn't. They didn't teach us how to take notes in college, but when I was in high school, we learned how to take these specific type of notes style. It's called Cornell notes. And with Cornell notes, I guess essentially that's kind of what I'm doing here, but just in a different way. So I'm gonna share my screen with everybody too, so they can see what I'm talking about. Because taking notes is half the battle.
Really is.
Because then you can always refer to it easily. So let me share that joint.
And our viewer Diana, you might recognize this breakdown. This is actually a type of breakdown that we give our clientele. Also, when we break down our programs and coaching programs and what to expect from us, this is a similar breakdown that we use in order for it to seem, not seem, for it to be way more organized for people to be able to read.
That is a fact. And so that being said, like, like I said, I did learn how to take notes in high school. They taught us Cornell notes, and with Cornell notes, essentially, you kind of you don't fold your paper completely in half, but you fold it like,
Oh my God, I do
yeah,
remember that. At first I
yeah.
just said because you were speaking and I wanted to support. I do remember that. Yeah.
And then you put like the main topics on the
Great.
left, and then on the right hand side, you go like, you start out with like, kind of like how this is
Yeah, you're
sectioned
sectioning
off.
off your bullet points.
Yeah,
So then it's like
exactly.
it's parallel on the
Exactly.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then, you can't really take Cornell notes inside Google I mean, you can if you create a table,
Right.
but I ain't trying to do all that. Which actually would be anyways, I'm not doing all that. That's it. So this was more geared towards the music business for me, because the people that I was watching, they actually run a music marketing company and are artists at the same time. So literally doing exactly what I'm doing on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. So one of the biggest things that they talked about was one, planning the work. So like setting aside some time to plan the work. So like you're like, what am I gonna get done this week? And then what time slots do I have to get these things done? Because we got to take in consideration, we got life. We trying to go to the gym. We might have doctor's appointments. We might have family obligations. So we got to plan around that type of stuff. So then we start plugging in these different time slots what we got. But then what got me the most was, what other obligations do I have that may get in the way of me completing the tasks?
Wow.
That was the biggest thing, is because they was talking about how we set these plans, but then we don't anticipate the different obligations that we have that is essentially gonna cause us to not complete it. It's like,
Yeah.
dang, man, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. That happens to me a lot.
All the time.
Be like, dang, hey, I gotta do this because I'll be on the go. So understanding like, yo, all right, so I need to do this, this, and this, and these obligations are gonna get in the way of me completing tasks. And you know what? I'm actually going to add something else. So like when others are planning stuff with you, make them send you a calendar invite so you know. Like I just had a meeting at 6. I had a calendar invite for that. So, I knew it was coming up. When others are
With you?
planning with you. Yeah, yeah.
Make calendar invites.
Yeah, just make calendar invites. Yeah. Man, it's always on camera when I can't type. I be typing real good.
Really well.
Sounds just like that.
It does.
Make calendar. Yeah, that's it. Just make calendar. Invites though. All right. So yeah, that's a piece right there. That's a piece right there. What's your thoughts on that?
For
Just that planning the work aspect.
I definitely agree with
sharing.
With the calendar invites. Definitely agree with the calendar invites, because that makes sure that it's everybody else's obligation also. You know what I'm saying? There's a calendar invite for that. I'm big on doing that with my writers group. I'm writing a pilot. So Google Workspace has been a huge part of organizing and creating the meetings and holding everybody accountable, because I send out calendar invites. There's no excuses for people to be like, oh, I didn't know it was today. Oh, I didn't know it was this time. Because I sent that invite out, and I thought that was Orlando.
It is.
Oh, what's up, Orlando? I sent out that invite, and it's all organized. You know what I'm saying? And we verified everybody got it. And then the other obligations that might keep you from getting to the task, man, that is a word, because that got me this week. I need to make a batch of content to leverage off of something that's just happened within my social media space last week, and I'm already running late with that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get this done today. I know I'm going to get this done tomorrow. I'm going to get this done tomorrow morning. I was like, I told Bunduk and everything, and I was like, yo, I want to make sure that we schedule out a time for me to film this and do this, and I'm going to do this. And then my niece called, within like the same hour. After I was like, I'm going to make sure I do this tomorrow morning. My niece called and was like, okay, I just want to make sure you guys are coming to my graduation tomorrow morning. And I was like, okay. And that was while I was on the way to another cousin's graduation celebration. And the same time that I was like, okay, I want to do this at this time. And I was like, can't do it because I'm on my way to my cousin's graduation. And then when I was on my way to my cousin's graduation, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. And then my niece called and was like, are you going to come to my graduation tomorrow morning? And I was like, I forgot about all of these things, even though I knew that they were coming beforehand. I just didn't make a calendar invite. I didn't put it in my calendar. I didn't make it an obligation that I have to see and organize around and make sure I was able to organize my days and my weeks accordingly. And those obligations got in the way of me doing things productively. And I was like, all right, do better, Corey.
Right.
Do better.
That's real. That's a real story, yo. That's real.
Yeah, that's just yesterday.
Yeah. And that's how you escape the burnout. Like if you already have something in your calendar, that's less time you got to spend thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that it's already set. You know, you don't have to. You ever start your day and you're like, dang, what am I going to do today? You know what I'm saying? If you're an entrepreneur, you probably felt that before.
Yes.
It's like you wake up, you know, it's not like you, for those who might not have like a dedicated job that has the same schedule. So it's like, yo, you have to create your own schedule. You have to be the one in charge. You got to be the manager and the employee and the CEO all at the same time. And you're just one person. So it's like you wearing all three of these hats. Who's talking to who? Who's doing what? So it's like this is a huge part, you know what I'm saying? And it goes into play with like, I think this first level, the planning the work, that level, planning the work. Yeah. If y'all, I would highly suggest taking some notes down like I did, because I'm not going to share my notes with, just send it to y'all. That's going to be too easy.
And you won't put it into action when things come too easy, and you don't value it the same. What's up, Brian? But that's so true. When things come too easy, you don't value it the same. That's you don't remember where you saved it. You don't remember where you put it. You just like, oh, I know he sent it to me. And then you might reference it back and be like, oh, what is the email that he sent it to? I might scroll and find it again. But then you're going to save it, and you're not going to save it under something that you actually, the way you actually speak. So you're not going to know how to find it later. And you're going to completely forget that it even existed.
Downward spiral.
Take your notes.
I'm about to pull this a little bit closer.
Okay.
So it's your microphone.
Thank.
So Diana in the chat just said everything that I plan, I added to my phone calendar. I totally understand what you guys are saying. So like, yeah, it makes your life easier adding things to your calendar straight up. So I'm about to go back. I'm about to share my screen back again right quick. So the second piece, doing the work. That's I put this is self-explanatory. Do the work and use time blocking. This is something that Corey talked about in the past, time blocking. And yeah, I'm gonna actually let her jump in and tell you a little bit more about that.
Oh, wait, okay. Time blocking. So basically, realizing exactly how you're spending your time and also writing that down. Writing down, you're like, okay, so I realize that typically on my days, I spend around this much time scrolling through social media. I spend about this much time actually going through my to-do list. This to-do list is going to take this amount of time. This task is going to take this amount of time, and actually putting it out on paper in order for you to be able to see it in a productive and clear manner. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, exactly where you're spending your days, right down to your commuting time. If you know it takes you 25 minutes to get to your office space, write down, okay, within this 25-minute block of day, I'm going to be in the car. You know what I'm saying? And then when I get there, it takes me about 5 minutes to sit down because I'm talking to people. I do this, I do this, I do this. I speak, I order my tea. I'm settling in. I'm getting to where I want to be in the space. And then I'm going to start working. So I know it sounds super, super tedious, but when you organize your days out, you know who actually taught me that? I'm about to drop a name. You know who actually taught me that? When I actually saw their back end all the way down to how they plan their outfits, CEO Matty J. CEO Matty J has a document for everything. He literally has a document for everything. It seems crazy, right? It seems like super tedious. It seems like this person cannot have a fun life and be this organized. But no, you see Matty J, He's dancing, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, he be having a fun life, no cap.
fun life, but he gets things done in a very organized and productive manner. Like he literally has a document for everything. So it might sound crazy. Oh my God, I have to write down my commute time. I have to consider this. I might have to consider that. Like that's crazy. Consider how long it takes for me to get from the front door of the office space to my desk or my table before I start working. That sounds insane. Yeah, that sounds insane. But once you do it once, and you have that document to look at, and you get rid of that, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I going to be doing? What does my day look like today during the week? And that alleviates all that stress because you did something one time and you took the focus on doing that one time. So now you have a thought out plan of execution, very similar to what you have when you're an employee. So therefore you're productive as an employee, and you can be productive as a self motivated entrepreneur that's doing it for yourself. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm speaking to myself when I'm having to convince myself to organize my days out like that. So time blocking, it's the same thing that your employers use for you when you're an employee, that keeps you coming back day by day by day, and you know exactly what you're expected to do for your job. Do that same thing for yourself and your own money.
Limit distractions, y'all. Let me actually put this. Let me put this. Phone on DND.
Yeah.
That really helps me because people be blowing up my phone with text messages and calls at any time of the day because it's convenient for them. They're like, oh, I got bro phone number. I'm gonna hit bro up. So I'm like, okay, so that's part of the process, phone on DND, or like put your phone in the other room, because we all know that our phones is the 99% of our distractions. You know what I'm saying? Other folks, you might have a family, you might have kids out there, so kids might want to play XYZ, things along those lines. I'm not saying like they're necessarily a distraction. They taking your attention off what you need to be doing. So I remember I forgot who it was. I think it was Jeremy Anderson. He was talking about how when he needed to go do his work or like get some work done, he would tell his kids, hey, he would let his kids know, like, yo, hey, kids, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., this is daddy's work time. So how you have all your toys, your PlayStation, whatever, your nice beds, that roof over your head. So this is the time that I need to make sure that you continue to have that and keep on getting better stuff. So the kids already know. And then he knows, like, yo, from 8 to 9, that's daddy and kids time. And so like now when that happens, it's like not only is that the time blocking and the scheduling, you're also limiting the distractions on top of that, and you putting it all together, which then flows right into batching tasks. Oh, you got something to say?
Yeah, for the limit distractions, because I'm the mindset to the marketing mindset. Sometimes your brain itself is a distraction. Sometimes it's like you're like, okay, the phone's in the other room. Great. I don't have something that I can easily reach out and scroll, but I have these legs that can go get that phone. You know what I'm saying? I have a brain that can just cause me to sit here and look at this paper or stare out into space for the next 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So what I have noticed is meditation in the beginning of the day reduces my distraction time. Meditation and exercising, making sure that you give your time and your mental focus to just you at some point in the day. You know what I'm saying? Not picking up your phone the first thing in the morning, because I'm huge on doing that. Picking up my phone the first thing in the morning. I started instead waking up and doing a wall stretch and just sitting there and meditating in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And giving my brain the exercise that it needs in order to get out of this distracting world that we've created for ourselves with social media. The instant gratification has caused our attention spans to shorten tremendously. So detoxing yourself from the consistent distractions of ads and scrolling and instant gratification, and detoxing by sitting and meditating for at least 15 minutes in the beginning of your day really helps with limiting distractions that your brain creates for you throughout the day. And exercising, making sure that your body is tapped in, your body is worked out, your body is present in the moment and feeling strong and feeling grounded. That helps me a lot with getting my mind ready for working.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad you stopped me.
Huh?
Cause I'm finna keep it rolling.
Keep it on.
Batch tasks, yo. Part of doing the work is batching them tasks up. So like last not even this past Monday, actually on Monday, I sat there and I just made like 10 pieces of content. So I batched out that content creating process. Now I gotta batch out that content editing process. So like a couple of days ago, I was just sitting editing and stuff. Which I definitely got to do some more of. But at the end of the day, I'm literally blocking out that time. And then another, hold on, like, I'm gonna have to write this down. This is for me, for real. Cause like, you know what I'm saying? Like content recording, I got to put, and each one of these are gonna be its own block too, because like sometimes we'll put like something general. We'll just put content creation in the block. That's general. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily specific to what you might be trying to get done, which is actually getting this content recorded or just sitting there editing this content on CapCut or Premiere Pro, whatever you're trying to use. And then we got the scheduling of the content.
Yes.
That's a whole nother bit. That's like the triple threat right there.
This down. This is perfect.
That's a triple threat right there. So it's like, and you don't know how much time, like content recording to me, that takes like the least amount. Actually, the scheduling probably takes the least amount of time. Then this takes the second most amount of time. Editing is what takes the most time.
Unless you have a recipe. There was I was doing my antisocial street questions, right? And it took a while to edit the first two, but then and then I came up with basically a template. You know what I'm saying? I had a content creation template for how I wanted my antisocial street questions videos to look. So therefore, I would be able to go into that template and break it down and find my recipe. I know I want this section of the video to be this amount of seconds long. I want this section of the video to be this amount of seconds long. Find that within the full video, cut it down, organize it, add my snippets, add my end graphics, add my beginning graphics. Boom. You know, once you create that recipe, it cuts down on so much time that you spend creating your content. And we'll go into how to do that
later on.
Yeah.
Facts, yo. And then just scheduling it, you know what I'm saying? I would just say have a dedicated, that's not how you spell it. Dedicated, what's the word I'm looking for? Content calendar.
Mm-hmm. You're so good at spelling.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not.
Somebody said something in the chat. Let me see.
I think it's Orlando.
The mortgage in 7 days. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You create some content around that.
Definitely create some content around eliminating a mortgage in 7 days.
And tell people how you did it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest sauce. So yeah, that second piece, doing the work, yo, make sure you're doing the work. Just a kind of quick recap. We done did the planning, the work. You plan that thing out. Then you do the work. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the biggest piece which I need to now add into my life. Reviewing the work. All right. So this is, remember when I told y'all you got to be the CEO, the manager, and the employee all at the same time? So now you're entering like manager mode right here. You know what I'm saying? Reviewing the work. Like, yo, what happened this week? What did I get to? What didn't I get to? How can I make it better next week? What did I not take into account that tripped me up? What problems did I run into?
Graduations.
Yeah. Which goes into planning and adding things to the calendar. It's like, okay, I didn't have certain things to my calendar that tripped me up. What problems did I run into? I ran into not being able to do what I needed to do. I didn't complete a certain task. So then it's like, okay, do I need to work better? Do I need to plan better? Yeah.
This is actually business meetings, business meetings at the end of the week. This is the stuff that you would cover in regards to business meetings.
Exactly.
And this is actually a really relaxing thing for me to do. This is I remember coming to the end of 2020, right? And we did Bunduk and I, we did a reflecting of the year. We just took a moment to reflect. And I realized that we weren't doing that in 2020 a lot. We weren't taking time to reflect, asking ourselves those questions. And then when we finally did, I don't know if you felt this way, but it was like stress just shedded off of me. Just going through those questions, figuring out what was really, really strong, leaning into those things that were really, really strong to bring us into the things that were weaker and how we can make it stronger, and realizing the things that we were able to accomplish along with the things that we weren't able to accomplish. I feel like with we weren't able to acknowledge one without acknowledging the other. We weren't able to acknowledge the negative without acknowledging the positive aspects of it. And I feel like that's something that we don't take enough time to do because we're so busy. You know what I'm saying? That self-reflection, it for some reason, self-reflection seems like it's intimidating for a lot of people. Self-reflection seems like it's intimidating. But then when you actually allow yourself time to do it, it's a huge stress relief. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. I remember when I was turning 30 last October, and I ran into Corey Arvinger at the gathering spot. He was like, "Yo, bro, like, man, like every birthday I just take some time to reflect, bro. Like forget everything, forget the age, forget all of that. Just take some time to reflect on what you did so far, you know what I'm saying, the direction that you headed." So like that's what, when you just brought that up, that reminded me of that, because we did that. Like I don't necessarily, like I said, this is the biggest thing that I need to apply, because I don't take it upon myself to review. I'm always so like running. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to slow down, smell the roses, and understand where you've been, what you've accomplished, and just soak that in real quick, you know? Like,
what's up, Kenneth?
Like, Kenny V in the building. But yeah, so that being said, it was like being able to do that. You know, I even going through my hard drive of content and just reflecting, that was really dope. Going through my Google Photos and like seeing the different things I did, like that level of reflection was dope. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes take some time, just scroll back through your IG and just reflect, like whatever you can do to reflect. Do all of it. Shoot, you know, ask yourself the questions, look at your old content, look at all your archives, things like that. Like it'll make you feel good.
It'll make you feel good.
Unless you ain't been doing nothing.
I was about to say, but no. But most of the time, you're doing something.
Yeah.
You've done something. You know what I'm saying? There's something that kept you motivated within this delusion of success as an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Because as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's doing something that the majority of people are not doing, there are moments that feed you. You know what I'm saying? There are moments that keep you going. So if you're still here doing it, there is something that you've done that fed that delusion to keep us going.
Nah, facts.
Revisit that moment and set yourself up mentally to receive those next moments.
That's real.
And set yourself up to make sure that you're able to push yourself towards those next moments. So much like the question said, do I have to be more organized? What stifled me? What kept me going? Do I have to work better? Do I have to plan better? What can make me better for this next week? You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to ask yourselves those challenging questions, because like I said, you cannot reflect on the negative without also looking at the positive. Your brain just won't allow it.
That's real. So Brian Brown in the chat, he just said, I like the idea of reflection, and these are great questions. I block out my time and batch my tasks. However, I do these reviews and reflections in my head. Same with me. I need to start writing these things out. So that's so real, man. That's so real. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that feedback. And like, yo, I was literally taking notes. I was taking these notes. I'm gonna send y'all the video too, though, if y'all want the video. This is the video I watched.
Love that. He's so organized.
Yeah. So this like hanging out with Maddie J, like when we tap in, he'd be like, oh, hold on, let me pull up this document. And he just pulls up the document. So it's like, I love that, because once he showed me that a couple years ago, I started doing that a lot more. So that's why I have so many documents now where I'm at. And I was peeping game how he was watching, you know, different YouTube videos and just taking notes. And I'm like, yeah, bro, You know what I'm saying? So like even with David Shands being in the morning meetup, listening to some stuff and then taking notes on that, got a whole bunch of notes on that. So it'll be like, but it's not in Google Docs. I need to transfer them all to Google Docs. They be in my iPhone notes.
Okay. I have a lot of iPhone notes also.
Yeah. So so then even after I like went through and listened to what they said, wrote down the things that they said, rewinded it like 100 times, you know, I still add my like the additional thoughts in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is helpful for independent creatives because if you have a system in place for when you onboard team members, these processes serve as a guide for how things should run in the business. Because now you bring somebody in, hey, this is what we do.
Yep.
At the top of each week, we planning out the work. At the top of each week, throughout the week, we doing the work. At the end of the week, we reviewing the work. Next week, we doing the same thing. So it's going to be that simple. And then it says, eventually you must zoom out and look at the big picture, understand where you're spending the most time doing tasks that can be delegated. When the business can afford to hire someone, then put someone in place to free up more of your time to focus on high impact. I'm going to say high impact and high revenue
activities.
Bang, bang.
I would like for some viewer interaction with this aspect of it. As you see, when most of Bunduk's additional thoughts go into employing and bringing in other people for the team. How many of you guys at the show, raising your hands, how many of you guys actually plan on bringing in employees, partners, even independent contractors, and building a team of people around you to support your business? How many of you actually plan on doing that?
Yeah, or have already.
No, I just want to see how many people are planning on
Let's
doing
see.
it.
We got people raising their hands.
Okay.
Mortgage Eliminator, Brian Brown.
Mortgage Eliminator. Okay. All right. How many of you already have a team? Like a genuine, dedicated team of people.
And if you already have your hand up, I'm gonna lower everybody's hands real quick. Go ahead and raise your hand if you already got a team and delegating, answering Corey's question.
All right. See it? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So for people that have their hands raised and planning on doing it,
oh wait, I plan on doing it. I raised my hand.
I plan on doing it. How would I don't even know exactly how to word the question. What steps are you guys actively taking to build out this team? Like, do you have a standard operating procedure? Do you have books and organizing notes and a week organizer, much like what Bunduk said? Do you guys have these things organized out yet in order to give a person that's coming into the team? Do you have these things, these tools of organization yet?
Can I say something?
Sure.
All right. So since the last time when me and y'all had that conversation, now since I eliminated your mortgage in 7 days, it's been literally insane. So now I'm like literally forced to go ahead and do that. So yes, I got a small group of people that we're actually mapping out, you know, behind the systems and all that, organize the systems and then, stuff like that. So, I mean, I took the advice from early on, and especially now, because with me eliminating it made me do it because I had to, because now I'm getting flooded, like literally flooded.
So, so you didn't necessarily have the tools of organization, like the notes and basically the guidebook for team management beforehand.
Yeah.
So you didn't?
No, I didn't.
So you're working on these aspects of it now?
Yeah.
So
but when I raised the hand when you said, "Well, do you got a team now?" Yeah, y'all. As far as like the marketing and stuff like that. So
that's cheating. That is cheating. And I had a feeling that that's what you meant. I had a feeling that that's what you meant. That's
so,
cheating.
but with the rest of it, the answer is yes.
So nah, y'all. He don't have the tools of organization yet. So
right.
Okay. So let's just use you as basically.
And they actually and let me say this for the audience. They actually that my social media is because of them. So my social media blow up is because of them. They the ones that got me to 20K, 21K, 1,000 people. So I gotta always say that.
Thank you. It was fun. We literally started from zero, and you are.
And that ain't no lie. That was literally. I only had 3 followers, me and them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was thank you. That was actually a really cool journey to go on. So in regards to building out your standard operating procedure, I know we've talked about that before. Does anybody else in the chat know what a standard operating procedure is? No. Yes, no. No. Okay, so basically a standard operating procedure is the beginning to the end of your process when it comes to operating your business, in each little individual aspect of it. So it goes from marketing, your standard operating procedure for marketing. That can look like deciding what campaign you want to market, deciding what product you want to market, deciding how you want to market it, building your team around building the content of it, putting the content out, how you want to put the content out, the time frame at which you let the content run, and then when you get your client, okay, so for us personally to onboard clients, our standard operating procedure would start with sending them a form for them to fill out so they can now enter into our space. Would that be the beginning of the standard operating procedure for dealing with clients? Yeah. So basically funneling the client into our space in order for them to get us our information, right? So we can see what their business is, we can get their phone number, we can get their email, we can study their business, and then at some point they will schedule a meeting with us, then we will reach out. We're literally typing these steps out, right? So when an employee joins the team to start taking the calls, they see, okay, in the beginning, they fill out this form, they go into Connectedly, they're able to see our client's information, they're able to see when they scheduled a call, they're able to call, they run the call like this is all in the standard operating procedure. They ask these questions, they go off of this aspect of it, they go off of this emotionality of it, and then they close the deal like this. They close the deal with this script, and then after they close the deal, they send the contract, they send the invoice, and then they start right there. So basically, like I said, it's a really tedious process. It's much like time blocking for your day, but it makes it so anybody can come in, basically get this instruction manual and run this business and run this process without a hitch, ideally, but they can't say, oh, you didn't tell me anything. It's all right here, sweetie. The training is all right here. So we won't be lost in training and they won't be lost in learning. There's basically a guidebook. There's a standard operating procedure, and it's all for different aspects of your business. There's going to be one for managing your finances. There's going to be one for client onboarding. There's going to be one for your social media marketing. There's going to be one for your ads revenue marketing. There's going to be some for
a lot of stuff.
Closing up the building. It's a lot of stuff. And it's all worth it. And you don't necessarily have to do each and every one of them yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can always have assistants, personal assistants, or even a what's it called? A virtual assistant help out with that. Yeah. But yeah, it's tedious yet so helpful. So worth it. So you can start knowing that you won't have to be hands-on with your business. There's a seamstress that I worked with for Innocent, and he is an older man, early 70s, still working, right? Still working on his business, because if he leaves his business, he knows his business will stop running. He knows his revenue will stop going, But he started his business years and years and years ago. So there wasn't basically this kind of guidebook on how to be an independent entrepreneur like we have now, you know? So he wasn't taught how to have employees. He wasn't taught how to release the reins so he can step away and have his business run for itself without him. And he was talking about how he would not recommend anybody become an entrepreneur. Running your own business sounds good until you have to run your own business. But he has no idea that he didn't have to run his business that way, you know? So now he's feeling stuck in his business and kind of jaded in the life of an entrepreneur because he was never taught how to put somebody else in place. And so if I can put somebody else in place by just making sure one of the steps is done, like having a standard operating procedure to teach how other people how to do it, I am so willing to do that. So I won't be in his position when I'm early 70s, you know, feeling like I'm stuck here and this is the only thing I know how to do, you know? So it sounds tedious, but seeing that made it completely worth it for me. I just wanted to share that.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. So I'll still go to him too for Innocent. He's worth supporting, but he has no idea. He put something into perspective for me in that moment.
No, that's facts. Yeah, that being said, got about 20 minutes left. Wanna keep it all rolling. Let me share my screen again.
Oh, you weren't? You didn't show them that dope B-boy flyer just now?
This is a lot right here. Should I go through it quickly or should I just
go through the relevant parts because copywriting, that might not be necessary for this group.
I think so. Everybody got to write emails.
Oh, you raw.
Anyway, okay. And then this was another joint called Tools and Processes for 10xing your music business productivity. Of course, you know, it applies to every single business. The first thing they talked about was batching content. So, if you set just a day in every 1 day a month, you set a day, 1 8-hour day strictly dedicated to recording and editing content, you get a lot of done. Now it's hard to sit there and record and edit for 8 hours.
Yes.
That's the tough part.
That's a shift.
Yeah, it's a work shift. But if you could put that work shift in, some people might need to break it up. You know what I'm saying? It could be one day a week, but if you do it, it really helps. It really helps. And like I said here, I said the hard part is the recording. The hard part is editing and preparing the content. That's the crazy thing. For shows, I'm not going to share that right now. But actually, no, we got Kenny V in here. For shows, when fans post videos on their stories and tag you, ask them to send you the video or ask them to upload it to a Google Drive and then tell them you're going to tag them when they post it. You know what I'm saying? Great for when you're touring and doing a bunch of shows and you got all that content.
Make it relevant. And when you're out doing not even social, just at social gatherings and networking events. Everyone has their phone cameras out. Everyone has something out. So if you get up and ask a question and somebody's recording you, go for that content too. It's all relevant. Making sure that you have a social media presence isn't just for artists.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I'm saying shows / events.
Networking events.
And I'm going to just say people, you know what I'm saying? Just people, you know what I'm saying? Just people. This is great for when you're touring. Touring can apply.
Yep.
But Canva, there's a batch creation tool for graphics. I'm not going to go into that right now. But team communication. So team communication is very, very important. That's one thing that I am going to be working on. So they said get out of email. Using something like Slack for communication. Some people use Slack, some people use Discord, some people use other stuff. I'm not sure, but I'm very familiar with Slack from just the corporate world. And it's a really good tool for kind of keeping everybody in the loop. They said it'll keep you out of email hell. It's an easy way to keep things organized, and it integrates with Google Drive and other project management tools to make it easy. There's a bunch of project management tools like Asana or Trello or Monday. You know, there's a bunch of them, you know, that you could use to help yourself stay organized. I use Trello.
You love Trello.
Yeah. Trello, I'm able to put a whole lot of stuff in there and yeah, and do a lot. So it makes it nice. We talked about time blocking already, you know, blocking off times for meetings, client work, and artist tasks. You know, we can say artist or personal tasks. I ain't even gonna say personal. I'm gonna just say like
business.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, team meetings, when you just got meetings with clients, client work, actually doing the work for the clients. So for example, if you're a designer, you're working on that design. If you are a mortgage eliminator, you're working on reading through them contracts. If you are doing e-commerce and have products and you're talking about packaging and sending stuff off, or if you are doing drop shipping, then the online fulfillment. There's just a lot of different aspects of that, how that client work could look. And then the artist / business tasks, you know, that can be the content creation, the editing, whatever else you might need to do for your business. Then also set aside specific time for specific tasks so you're not getting pulled back and forth between several things. You know, sometimes I know for me, boy, I start doing something, I'll be like, dang, I need to go do that too. And I start doing that and I'll be like, dang, I need to go do that too. And I start doing. Now I'm like, dang, I got 18 tabs open. I'm like, yeesh.
Explore different aspects of the business.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? There's different, you know, make sure you just kind of lock in for whatever task that needs to be. Yeah. Calendar. So using 3 calendars like 3 separate calendars that sync up into one. You don't necessarily have to use all 3. You can use one calendar with 3 different colors for different events. Yes, that's right. That'll make it a little bit easier. But you know, so I broke it into 3, which is going to be Duke's Day Media for all of the business meetings, the client work, the marketing work that I have to do for the business, Bunduk Music, the writing, the recording, the marketing work for that as well. And then personal, you know, that could be haircuts, going to the gym, reading, my financial review, things along those lines. So then set the times in the calendar and just have them repeat each week. So it's just like, yo, every Monday at 10 p.m., this is what we doing in that example. So the key is it just allows you to open your phone, look at the calendar, and get to work. So stop thinking that you're a free spirit with a spontaneous workflows.
I feel attacked.
Setting up your schedule is crucial, but always allow for buffer time for a certain level of fluidity for changes. I had to add that in there because I'm like, you know, you got to have that certain level of fluidity, but, you know, making sure that you have that concrete time is very important.
We had someone agree that with you that Slack and Trello are their favorite tools. We got Brian.
Yeah, Slack and Trello are favorite tools for organization. Nah, facts. It's so easy and straightforward to use. You know, it's one of those things you can just pick up and go, and you could customize it to what works for you. You know what I'm saying? It could be, you know, some people don't like Trello. It's probably because they jumped into somebody else's Trello.
Yeah.
But if you make your own for whatever you need it for, you might only have.
I feel attacked.
You might only have 1, 2, 3 columns. When I first started with Trello, I only had 3 columns. I was like, yo, I'm not doing the most. I had to do, doing, and done. And it made it real simple. So make sure that you worked on what works for you.
I'll retry Trello.
Yeah, or whatever platform works for you. No pressure. You know, as an artist, you might feel, as artists are overall creative in general, you might feel that you can't time block your creativity, but don't overthink it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a morning person, set that creativity time for the morning. Yeah. For example, if you block out 9 to 11 for music, you can go into it and just be in a music vibe. If something great comes out of it, that's good. If not, then it's okay. You don't always have to put that pressure on yourself to come out with 3 complete songs. You know, that's not how creativity works, although it can work like that. It doesn't always work like that. It's a muscle that you can build up to that point. copywriting, writing for your emails, your social media captions, all this and that. We all know about ChatGPT. You know, you got to feed a good amount of information in ChatGPT for it to work at a high level for you. So, you know, they also recommended Jasper.ai. There's this website I found called logicballs.com. It's a free AI tool that is very similar to copy.ai and Jasper AI for marketing related AI generated. That's a bar. Marketing related AI generated.
You said balls.
I did. Pause. Anyways, yeah. Those things work. Those things work. Additional thoughts. You know, I always got to throw in my additional thoughts of what I be thinking, you know. This is not an overnight process. You might go through different apps before you learn what works for you. Keep an eye out for repetitive things in your schedule. Get in the habit of recognizing these patterns, and you will start understanding where you can increase your time efficiency and productivity. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to kind of quickly breeze through that aspect. Man, y'all just keep locking in with me right now, because I just gotta finish out strong.
Well, we can actually see what they were able to absorb and take in for the last.
Oh yeah, before they get overloaded. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna overload. We're gonna say the tips and strategies for real till next week. All right.
Yeah, marketing mindset group time.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. We'll do that. So moving forward with that, you want to conduct that side of the joint?
Oh, would you like me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm chill. I just did a lot of talking.
Yeah, I know you did. Congrats. Let's give Linda a hand for going through that. That's not easy. And let's give you a hand for like actually taking those notes and actually documenting out things in an organized fashion to the point that other people are able to absorb it. That's not a small thing. That's actually hella cool. And I can't wait to get to a point where I take the initiative to do that on my own. But bringing us to the end, how is everybody else feeling? What are some of the takeaways that you were able to actually pick up from this marketing mindset group? I like to make sure that we actually see what was absorbed, see what was given, see what value we were able to bring, if we were able to bring you any sort of value. So feel free to put in the chat. Feel free to come off mute and talk to us. What were some of your takeaways? What is something that you feel like is actually going to come with you after we get off of this call?
What you finna do this week?
What you finna do?
Like, man, let's get to it.
Let's go.
Now, for real. I'll start telling people to come off mute.
Well, organization is the major key that needs to be got. But what I'm going to do is finish eliminating 3 other mortgages later on this week.
Okay. So. That's great. We know you can eliminate mortgages. You know you can eliminate mortgages. I'm saying, look.
No, it's a no. The reason why I'm so happy about it, because that one was the largest one I've done to date, and that was $840,000.
Wow, that's great.
Almost $1 million.
As a person that has worked with you closely, I know you can eliminate mortgages. But what aspects of business organization are you going to utilize in order for you to be able to protect yourself and maintain financial independence by eliminating your mortgage?
First of all, separating. First of all, you have to separate the financial accounts. You have to keep them in your own separate organization. Like, you have to keep them
I like what you're talking right now, but I want you to not use it. You phrase your sentences as far as the things you quote unquote, the first thing you have to do. Nah, I wanted to start with what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want everybody to do. Okay. I want y'all to break down what you're actually gonna do, and how do you perceive yourself implementing it.
So basically, I'm gonna structure like 4 to 5 different accounts separately, from tax side to business structuring trust accounts and different things of that sort. So it's not only going to be bank accounts; it's going to be trust and LLCs that's going to coincide with each other. So that way, in case anything happens financially, because you know what's going on with with the financial system, if you shift it over to LLC accounts and trust accounts, then the trust can't get hit the same way if anything happens financially to the business or the person.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Orlando. I look forward to see how you implement that and how that elevates your business to the next level.
Like,
it's no problem. Thank you. Is there anybody else that has some major takeaways? Let's see.
Diana, you sent that message directly to me, us.
Oh, you want to read it out?
Versus, I wanted to put it in the full everyone chat. Make sure you click everyone so we can but just while she does that, what she said is, I'm going to experiment / create some content for my business using designer.microsoft.com.
Nice.
That's lit.
Nice.
That is lit.
I'm going to experiment and create some. Yes. Content creation is a huge thing. It's also a huge stressor for some people. So for you to dive into that aspect of it, that's fire.
Major. Brian Brown, man, you dropped some talk in the chat. If you got a quick second to come off mute and tell us what one of your takeaways are that you're gonna implement into your business or life. Definitely want to hear it.
All right. Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's good?
Brian.
Yeah, man, I love this presentation so much. You guys even introduced me to a few AI tools I hadn't heard of. Like, I'm looking at the Logic Balls website right now, and like, this is amazing. I'm gonna experiment with this for sure. With content creation. Oh my god, I'm signing pause. Oh my god. But yeah, ChatGPT is something I've integrated into my life ever since I even learned about it, and I'd say that was last November. So I don't use it anymore. Whenever I have a question, I directly go to ChatGPT. Wow. And I like to think of myself as a prompt engineer at this point.
Which is a skill.
Big.
Yeah.
A huge skill.
Is.
People out here selling prompts.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've been seeing that all over Instagram. But I mean, honestly, I'll give it to you for free. Tell ChatGPT to just assume a role and then start talking to it in that thread as that role. And it does multi-threading within that chat. So like if you tell it to like pretend you're a business consultant, pretend you're a therapist, pretend, XYZ, don't try to like bring different types of like conversations into that thread that aren't relevant to the start of the thread, if you get what I'm saying.
Right. It really helps. And then that's to quickly add to that. One thing I did was I made a specific thread where I just put in all the information. I told them what Duke State Media is, what our goals are, what the marketing mindset group is, all of that. And then every time I needed to type out a new email, I go to that specific chat, and it everything is stored and remembered in there. It remembers everything that I told it. So it's a smooth process for me when it comes to like just going back in there.
Exactly.
Like what he said with the multiple threads that you can have.
Yeah, that's exactly how you should be using it. I'm a software developer by trade. So like I'll go into the beginning and I'll put in like what software language I'm working in, what framework I'm working with, what like cloud service provider I'm using. And I just keep returning back to that specific thread whenever I have a question about architecture. And you can use a lot less context for what you're saying, be a lot more general with your questions because it kind of already knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. Corey, that's Brian from the Gathering Spot, right?
I didn't know it was you.
Oh my, yeah, I can turn my camera on for a second if I can.
Hey man.
What's good, bro?
He knows that he's like I should let her know which Brian that is. Yo, what's up, Brian?
Santa, bro. Welcome. This is your first time in the marketing mindset, isn't it?
It is, man. I actually was going through my spam and I started seeing like some emails for these Zooms, man. I was like, man, I missed a
Oh, it's in
number.
your spam. Okay,
My
okay.
spam for some
I'm happy
reason.
that you went through it and
Yeah,
you
me
joined.
too.
No,
No.
I marked you guys as like, this is a good sender. So I got this direct email notification. There's about to be a Zoom at 7. I'm like, oh, okay, let me jump into this.
Nice, nice.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, man. I'm so happy to see you. I know I've been MIA from the gathering spot, so it's cool to see you. Cool to see you.
Yeah, I've been MIA as well. I just came like today just to have a lunch meeting. Like it's been a minute since I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice to see you, man. And thank you for actually sharing.
In facts.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I know, let's say praise.
Praise Pitchford.
Praise. I know you came in a little bit later towards the end, so I don't know if you were able to get like a nice chunk of the presentation to possibly add something towards the end to close it out on if you had any takeaways, if you plan on being able to implement anything that you possibly heard from the call today,
or even a question,
just something to introduce your voice, what you do, what you plan to do. If you want to come off mute, or
she
even
just
put in the chat.
briefly came off mute for a sec. Yeah, come on now, talk to us.
Okay, hey guys, how are y'all doing?
What's going on, Praise?
Nothing much, just living this life, doing it the best way we can, the only way we can, do it. I'm happy to be in the space with y'all. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm over here doing one of my lifestyle implementations while I'm listening to y'all, so I sound a little out of breath. But I was listening, and I'm a quick learner, so I did jump in at the end of this, but I was so excited because for me, that's just how God works. He just shows you exactly you're exactly where you need to be. And when I was listening to you guys talking, I was like, oh man, they're all in my business and stuff like that. Because I literally had wrote down some things because I believe like in giving myself a self-evaluation, not just personally, but with business and everything. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm just going to be, I kind of wrote like a little schedule for myself for the next month and for like the last for the next month, and then like Saturday and Sunday, something that I was going to be doing, which was, with the content creation, just organizing like some outfits, because I really do not like to take all day doing stuff. So I figured out that I'm just gonna get like 10 different outfits and then record all day long, and then I have like my subjects and everything, and the things that I'm going to be talking about, and kind of diving into that for my business. And then I'm going to be just organizing my content, just taking that time and block it out, putting the do not disturb on and making sure that I get it, how I live it. And then I'm just just trying to make sure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, so that I don't let that part of me die, because I'm multifaceted, creative. I help a lot of people in different aspects, and this is my time to work on praise and do some stuff for me. So I love this conversation. It was definitely nurturing for me. You was getting my synapse firing just from the short of it. So I was like, oh yes, Father. I was like, yes, we are where we need to be at. So I'm excited. I can't wait to catch you guys when you do the next one. I'm always I think I found the information through Instagram. The blessed young king sitting over there in the yellow. Forgive me, I'm very fresh and new to the atmosphere, like as far as what y'all do. But I found some things, and it just was very intriguing to me. And I love to connect with like minds, or people that are just greater than me on another level, because that's the only way you grow. So I'm absolutely honored to be in the space with you guys today. I'm already like, before I go to bed, I like to write things down and just kind of get those things done. So as you guys are talking, and the other creators were talking, and the other geniuses were speaking, I was like, it fuels me, because I'm very gifted in that way of just being able to kind of pick stuff up a little bit quickly. So I'm like, I'm excited. I'm like, yes, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm done.
Thank you, Praise. Thank you, Praise. That was a great way to close that. That was praise the Lord. Yo, that was a great way to close it. I appreciate that. That was amazing energy. Yo. So
I love when people give me something to absorb.
Right.
Man, that was great.
That was dope.
How you feel? Like,
I'm good. I didn't do that. Somebody's doing that right now. I don't know.
But it's on
thumbs
your screen.
Up. Yeah. I don't know, maybe just me. I don't know. Somebody put a thumb through the.
You got our AI.
Did it do that on its own?
Yeah,
I
think so. I think it picked up on our excitement and was like, "This is how they feel."
Yo, that's probably lit.
That's scary. Dope scary. But yo, so
yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Are we done?
Oh yeah. Are we done?
I know that sounds crazy, but
that was a great way to wrap it up. But we're gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna be back next week at 7 p.m. Next week, we're gonna be breaking down some new tips and strategies for Instagram and Facebook Reels that actually work directly with the algorithm itself, because I actually had a conversation got on the phone with a Meta employee, like, yo, what do we need to do? Like, what? I got on the phone with them. I was raw. I felt cool. And the first time he called me, I was like, hey, you're gonna have to call me back, my boy. And he called me back. So it when I tell you the information that we got, make sure y'all are here next Thursday, because if you're trying to take your brand to the next level, if you want to get that exposure, if you want to deliver the content that people are going to see and actually leverage the algorithm itself and what it wants from you, make sure you're here. So I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Orlando, aka the Mortgage Eliminator, Brian Brown, the software engineering, prompt engineering guru, man, Diana Mitchell. Mitchell. I don't even know what. Multifaceted.
The doer, the executor.
Yo.
The greatest energy of all time. So is that the Gyat? Greatest energy of all time instead of the goat?
Yeet.
Yup.
Anyways, yeah.
Praise.
We got praise.
With the greatest energy, exudes the holiness, lives up to her name. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. We're gonna catch y'all here next week. It's your man Bunduk.
And your girl Corey Janae.
We out.
Mwah.